This is Covering the Spread, part of the FanDuel Podcast Network.
Really fun slate of Week 14 games in the NFL begins tonight with the Lions and the Packers doing an NFC North battle. We're not going to talk in depth about that game for today, but still some fun stuff going on throughout the week as well. We got the Chargers and Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. We have got a battle for the NFC West between the Seahawks and the Cardinals as well. It's going to be a really fun slate. Here today to break it down is Dubs Anderson of FanDuel TV. We'll pick his brain on his thoughts on those key games and his best bets across Week 14 in the NFL. Welcome on into Covering the Spread, a FanDuel Research podcast. My name is JimSannes. I'm the managing editor for FanDuel Research. Joined here, as mentioned, by Dubs Anderson. You can find him on X at mrdubbsie. Find him on FanDuel TV from noon to 2 Eastern every weekday. Dubs, appreciate the time as always. How you doing today?
Excited, Jim. Cannot believe we're already getting set for kickoff in Week 14. I feel like the season is just going by at a fast pace, and I feel like every match has got a little bit of extra juice to it. And on the betting side of things, starting to heat up. So, mate, pumped up and excited to be here with you to break it all down.
And we got this Lions-Packers game tonight. I feel like, for whatever reason, we've been insanely lucky with how good the Thursday games have been this year. We had Eagles-Commanders. We had that Browns-Steelers game in the snow. We had the Bengals versus Ravens on Thursday. I don't know what happened, Dubs. I'm not sure if Amazon forked over a little extra cash for this year, but the games this year have been awesome.
Yeah, really have. And I think we're going to have a blockbuster again for Thursday night football. Both teams playing some really good football. The Packers, they are absolutely surging right now. So I think they're live. You know, don't want to be that guy and say that the Lions are a little vulnerable, but I love what I've seen from Jordan Love and the Packers. I think Josh Jacobs has been fantastic, having close to a career best season. And I think they're a really good shot here. I like them grabbing the points just more than a field goal at 3.5. And I think it's going to be back and forth. Remember last year, Jim, the big storyline going through the primetime matchups was unders.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the case. I mean, I know we got that little snow affair, but I think we see plenty of offense and it should be an exciting one.
Even in the snow game, the overhit, it was, I think, 37 or 38 in that game, and it went to 45 points. I was pretty happy about that personally. It was a lot of fun to watch there. I got the total for tonight at 52.5. So, hey, it's going to be fun. And hopefully that kicks off what should be a really good Week 14 as well. If you want some thoughts on the Lions and Packers, I ran through that on the Tuesday show. You can find that here on the Covering the Spread podcast feed and on the YouTube page as well. Dive into the Sunday games. We'll talk about, if we just ignore the Niners at this point, just pretend they don't exist, we might, talk about that. We'll talk about those key games across Sunday and get Dub's best bets for this week as well. But first, a reminder to make sure you are subscribed to Covering the Spread wherever you get your podcasts. As mentioned, that Tuesday show going game by game, breaking down my model's thoughts on every single game across Week 14. We also broke down the College Football Conference Championships with Riley Thomas of FanDuel Research yesterday here on the show. Tomorrow, we're talking player props with Austin Swaim as well. Again, Covering the Spread podcast feed, or wherever you get your podcasts, but also on this brand new YouTube page. Subscribe there, turn on notifications, and leave us a thumbs up if you like what you hear. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So, when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/Chat, Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Now, Dubs, we'll dive into the key matchups across week 14 here in a second. But first, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this because the Niners have looked broken so far. And there's no Christian McCaffrey, no Jordan Mason, no Brandon Ayuk. And you look at this matchup with the Bears. The spread there is 3.5. And my numbers show value in the Niners, but I've not taken it because I don't know what to do here. So, Dubs, I wanted to ask you, are they a cross-off at this point, the Niners, or should we consider buying low on them? And what is objectively a pretty short spread against a Bears team that just fired their head coach?
Yeah, I think there's certainly value behind the 49ers, but situational trends, I think it's a little scary here and going against the Bears. That locker room's obviously going to be very fired up, and you look at the football that they have been playing. I know they haven't been getting a result, but I think the Bears are absolutely live in this one. And Jim, going through the first 5-6 weeks, I was banking on the 49ers to eventually show up and be the powerhouse that we thought they were going to be coming in to this season. But it's a sign of the NFL. If you're not at full strength and you're battling injuries, it really is an uphill battle. They're a 5-7 team. They are exactly what their record suggests. I do not think they're going to turn things around. I would absolutely be jumping ship and saying this year is all but done. So for the 49ers missing a lot of their offensive firepower, I think it's going to be a tough assignment. I know they're at home in their building, but I think the Bears are going to have a lot of confidence in coming into this one, and this is going to be their Super Bowl. There's there's not a lot of great opportunities for the Bears to try and close out this season and make it a winning one, but I think they're going to be fired up. It's a nice looking spot here. Caleb Williams, he's going to be filling his offense. He's been looking better and better. So going to be that guy going against the 49ers. I think the Bears for a big one here, and this could be the upset of the week.
Yeah, and there's been some data out there that shows that teams do get a bit of a surge after firing their head coach. So it is a signal of disarray, but there is like a rally around the flag effect that does occur at times when that change occurs. Thomas Brown seems like he does have the faith of that locker room too, their new interim head coach. So some factors to like there for the Bears. Bad vibes abound with the Niners. So yeah, like I said, I show value there, but I can't pull the triggers because it's just really tough with the Niners right now with all the injuries they've had. Let's talk about a more fun game in that exact same division, the NFC West. This is the Seahawks at the Cardinals. Seahawks are kind of in the driver's seat, but they are 2.5-point dogs in this game to the Cardinals at FanDuel Sportsbook. Total in this game is 44.5. And Dubs, we just saw this matchup 2 weeks ago, and the Seahawks defense kind of had their coming out party in that game. So do you see something similar playing out here in the rematch in Arizona?
I think we flipped the script in this one. NFC West divisional dance. I think the Cardinals are going to be primed up. I think we see a lot more offense. That was the common theme if we looked 2 weeks ago. We saw that big pick six. Defense absolutely carried it there for Seattle, who have been playing some really good football. They've now rattled off three on the bounce, looking to make it 4. But I think this is a get-right spot for the Cardinals at home in their building, controlled atmosphere, if you will. They're not going to be going against the cooler conditions up there like we saw in Seattle. So I think it's a get-right spot. They've been very good against the number. Arizona 8-4 there for the season. So grabbing 2.5 if you like Seattle. I'd say the Cardinals here. I'd be happy to cover that field goal. They're laying 2.5 as your favorites at home. And with that total, opened at 46, now sitting at 44.5. So we have seen a bit of movement there. I don't mind the overs. I think it'll be a completely looking game and script from what we saw 2 weeks ago.
That was where my head went as well with this game. And I do show value in the over right now. I've got a 46.6, so about 2 points above here. And I think that with this number, you mentioned the opener was at 46. We saw, neither team really lit it up last week. I know the Seahawks did win, but that was in part due to a pick six. There was some weird kick return stuff going on in that game as well. And we just saw this game, 22 total points in that one. I feel like if we hadn't seen that game, this total would be, I think that game's total was like at 48 or so. And this game is now indoors, which should boost the total up even a bit more. So I think that kind of in line with what you're saying, 44.5 feels a bit light. I don't feel great about it, obviously, because we did just see this matchup 2 weeks ago and it was super low scoring, but I think we should expect a reversion here. And it does feel to me, Dubs, like a bit of an overreaction to this total go down as much as it has.
Yeah, it really hasn't. And I'd be happy to chalk that one up as a bit of an outlier. Both quarterbacks can be elite on their day. A little inconsistent, but can certainly gunsling it with the best of them. Looking at Geno's pass attempts, I figured they're going to be behind early in this one. If they're playing catch up, he's going to get a great opportunity to go over his pass attempts. If you go into that passing prop, 34.5 is the number set for Geno, sitting right around even money plus money. So I think the Cardinals try and get that run game going early. I think they get off to a fast start. And with that, Seattle, they're going to be looking to play a little bit of catch up. And with Geno, I mean, he can go north of 40 pass attempts on any given Sunday. So I like plenty of points. I like the Cardinals, but Geno is a play that's got my attention from the Seahawks if you're looking to jump in for a player prop.
Yeah, and the Cardinals' rush defense played a lot better recently. They shut down the Vikings last week. The Vikings basically just stopped trying to run against them. So the Seahawks are a team that struggled to run the entire year. Over 34.5 plus 102, where Dub's looking there with Geno, but then also considering laying the points at 2.5 for the Cardinals and liking the over 44.5, that is minus 110 right now. The most fun game in the afternoon slate is the Bills at the Rams right now at FanDuel Sportsbook. This spread down to 3.5. It is a heavy 3.5 at minus 115. Total in this game is 49.5. So some movement towards the Rams here recently. And Dubs, you were high on the Rams offense a couple weeks ago, and they're in a huge spot here where it's not like a must win necessarily, but it's pretty dang close. So can the Rams at least keep things close enough to cover a 3.5 point spread at home?
I think so. And I feel like I'm always coming on here singing the praises of the Rams, but they're still live. NFC West, we just talked about a couple of the other contenders, but the division's wide open. This is a must-win for the Rams, and you look at both sides here, I guess, trending or in totally different situations, if you will. For the Bills, they locked up their division last week. Are they really going to have that motivation making the longest trip of the season for him, coming all across out here to the West Coast? Josh Allen, he's been busy off the field there, getting engaged. Not to say it's a distraction, but I think the Rams are going to be live in this one. And Jim, I know it's a big total, 49.5, but I still love the overs. If I'm a little cautious towards trying to get the number right there, I do think we see plenty of points here. SoFi Stadium, track meet, Josh Allen, Bills offense. It's tough to really slow them down. For the Rams, they're going to have to, outshoot them, outscore them. And I do think we see plenty of points in this one. Even at 49.5, I think we go north of 50 points.
And my total does have north of 50. It's a 50.9 right now. So pretty in line with market, given 49 is a key number, but still above that as well. And I took the Rams money line earlier on this week. I have agreed with you this entire time. Whenever you've sung the Rams praises, I have been in the chorus right behind you, Dubs, doing the exact same thing. We'll look at their numbers early downs, just to kind of see what things are like when they have control. And their early down passing efficiency numbers are I have to double check every week because of how good they've been since Puka Nacua came back. They are shredding on early downs right now. And to me, I feel like that's eventually going to lead to an offensive explosion for the Rams at some point. Maybe not this week, but somewhere down the line. That's why I kind of want to hope them. I kind of hope they keep winning because I think that they have some really fun potential down the stretch as long as they are still alive to make the playoffs. So I still believe in this Rams offense. Defense is still playing better than expectation. They're not amazing by any means, but playing well enough. So I think we'll see a shootout here. Kind of like you said, I think the Rams can keep pace because of how good that offense has been. So I'm still believing, Dubs. I still think that this Rams team can have some fun. I think that does continue on Sunday afternoon too.
I like it. Give us plenty of points out here, West Coast, Best Coast, the Rams to absolutely rumble. And they're not out of the division. They're not out of their conference title. They are still absolutely live for the bettors looking for maybe a little sprinkle there with the futures. The Rams have what it takes. When they're in tune, that offense can run with the very best of them. They got one of the smartest minds in the business there in McVay trying to scheme this one up. So Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams with the run game. He's been fantastic. I like him for an anytime score, but there's certainly going to be a lot of juice for him to get one into the house. So points. Let's see a blockbuster, if you will, for the Sunday slate.
And that 49.5 over is only minus 105 right now to take that. And same thing with the Rams plus 3.5. That is also minus 105 right now. Sunday night game is the Chargers at the Chiefs right now at FanDuel Sportsbook. Chiefs favored by 3.5. Total of this game is at 42.5. Over there is minus 115. The Chiefs, Dubs, just keep on pulling out narrow victories. Pretty tough assignment here against the Chargers. What's your read on Chargers at Chiefs on Sunday Night Football?
If the Chargers were at full strength, Jim, I'd entertain that they're going to give the Chiefs a bit of a tilt here, money line straight up. But I've got my hesitations. Ladd McConkey could be a little questionable ahead of kickoff for this one. J.K. Dobbins, he's been placed on injury reserve there last week. I think the Chargers are going to give them an absolute run for their money. I'd entertain them getting the score here for the Chiefs. How do they do it? I mean, they just continue to find ways to get the result. They're a good football team. They're well coached. I feel like they're waiting for their breakout game. But the Chargers, it's complementary football. They're strong on both sides. I think this is going to be a really close game, and I'd endorse the Chargers here, grabbing a field goal. I think it'll be a close one. I certainly think they're looking better and better. And we saw the early tone, going through the early part of the season. It was run game, trying to figure things out. Now, suddenly Herbert's getting it downfield as well. That passing game starting to open things up. So I think the Chargers are coming in here and they could be ready to pull off an upset.
Yeah, right now, FanDuel Sportsbook, if you want the 3.5 on the Chargers, only minus 104 to take those points there. And like the Chiefs just keep on playing close games. And I think they understand the situation they're in, where they don't need to win with style points. This is not the college football playoff, where they don't need to win style points. They just got to get the job done. And it seems like they just kind of keep on doing that. So I do, I show a bit of value in the Chiefs here, but I can't lay the 3.5 because I don't have faith they're going to cover a number like that, given that I just don't think they care too much. Now, with the good thing here with the Chargers side is that Ladd McConkey practicing once again Thursday. He was not in full pads, so that isn't like the most encouraging thing by any means, but hopefully can give it a go, because I actually do like the over in this game. Took that earlier on this week, over 42.5, minus 115. This Chiefs offense has been very efficient since DeAndre Hopkins got there. Like you said, the Chargers throwing it a lot more recently. That's good for overs too. So interested in the over here. Do want McConkey to play to feel better about that, but I took it because I had a lot of value, so I didn't want to wait on that one in case it did go up as the week went along. All right, Dubs, going to open up the board for you right now. Where else is seeing value across week 14 at FanDuel Sportsbook?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the games that we've jumped into, I think the Bucks could be live to put up plenty of points, sitting right around 6.5. So they're going to have to cover a full touchdown. But going against the Raiders, who really just they've been so disappointing. The quarterback play, it's been mid to poor, and I really think Baker Mayfield is getting ready for another monster performance, more than 2 passing tutties there. I think the Bucks are going to put up a lot of points. 46.5 is the total, but I'd take them ATS. I think they can cover going against a Raiders side who's been absolutely dismal at home, away, over there in Tampa Bay. I think it's a really good spot for Baker.
Yeah, that is minus 6.5 and minus 110 right now. I also did lay the points with the Bucks here. I laid it at 7, unfortunately, so it moved against me. But I did it because I've got the Bucks favored by double digits in this game, due to how efficient they've been passing the football. No matter who has been healthy, they've been efficient. I think that's super encouraging here. Baker Mayfield seems to be showing no ill effects of getting stepped on last week. Tristan Wirfs able to play in that game, didn't look fully healthy, but get him a week further removed from that injury, that should be a good thing for them. And Bucky Irving cooking right now. So I just want to buy in this Bucks offense. I upgraded the Raiders because Aiden O'Connell looked pretty good on Black Friday, but even with the upgrade there, did still show value in the Bucks as well. So Dubs and I both aligned on the Bucks minus 6.5, minus 110 at FanDuel Sportsbook. That is all that we have here for today on Covering the Spread. Big thank you once again to Dubs Anderson. Check him out on X at mrdubbsie. Find him on FanDuel TV from noon to 2 Eastern every weekday. Dubs, appreciate the time as always. Enjoy Lions-Packers tonight. Enjoy the rest of week 14 as well. We'll talk to you once again soon.
Thanks, Jim. Let's get after it. Let's cash. Best of luck.
Looking forward to it. Again, find Dubs on X at mrdubbsie. I'm on X and Blue Sky at JimSannes. You can find FanDuel Research on X at FanDuel Research. Big thank you to our YouTube producer, Justin Lane, for his work on the video side of things. Thank you, Justin, as always. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. Have a great time watching the Thursday night game. Enjoy the rest of week 14. We'll talk to you once again tomorrow to break down top props with Austin Swain. This has been Covering the Spread, a FanDuel Research podcast.